Hi, and welcome back to Tape It. I'm your host Tozen, and today we're talking about the series finale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, otherwise known as Avengers Endgame. So we're finally here, guys. It's been a long time, a very long time. 11 years? 11 years, 21 movies? 21? We finally got Avengers Endgame. Did it deliver? Yes, there's some problems. We will be doing a non-spoiler section, thoughts of what went right, what went wrong. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty with the spoiler version. So anybody who hasn't seen the movie, please go see it, because I do not want anything to be spoiled. There's a lot of fun to be had going in fresh in this movie. So let's get on with it. Avengers Endgame, directed by the Russo brothers, who have directed 3 other movies: Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War. Continuing from Infinity War with Thanos snapping his fingers and vanquishing half of all living beings in the universe. Oh, so epic. We come back with the remaining Avengers who are trying to figure out a way to bring back the loved ones and everyone who was gone and try and fight and defeat the demigod. What works? What doesn't? The first act starts off really strong with a nice serious tone following the characters that we've come to love over these years. But it's in a situation we're not used to seeing them. So I was very excited to see what was to come, because I was quite surprised with the tone they took and was very much enjoying it. I was emotionally invested just from the first scene. I was emotionally invested in what they were going with. They had a nice sprinkle of humour which was woven into it. It really added gravitas to what was going on. Second act comes, really failed on what the first act built emotionally and tonally and styles wise. It turned into a different movie for me. I was hoping and was enjoying initially the tone that they were going with. I thought it really worked, and when they got into the second act with the wackiness and the story kind of losing its way because of the structure that they had to take, it was a bit disappointing, to the point where when we got into the third act, I was getting a bit wild, because I was like, okay, I can tell this is the third act now, and I'm not feeling the way I should really feel. A lot of it was just scenes put together in just like, let's just put scenes together and just build a story somehow to get to where we need to get to. Then the third act got back on track, where it felt like it leapfrogged from the first act to the third act in the way it was filmed, the way it hit emotionally. I must say, I was very impressed with how they landed it. This is what blockbusters are about. It was one of those rare moments where I was giddy. I was like a child. My poor wife next to me, I apologise because I lost it. I wasn't even there anymore. I was in the movie. I forgot about all my woes, all my problems. I was just in that movie enjoying it, man.
And that's what it's all about.
And, yeah, and that's it. That was ultimately what it's all about. This is really just nitpicking, because they really have achieved the impossible. And I look forward to what they do next, because even just in terms of comic book movies as a whole, we now go into a new era of comic book movies, and you can see that they're switching up with different kind of characters they use and different kind of stories that they can be able to get into. So I look forward to what they're doing. So this movie is really a celebration of what's happened and what is to come, and I really do commend them on what they've achieved. Yeah, that's all really non-spoiling. I don't really want to spoil it for you guys, because there's a lot that happens. Overall, it does what it needs to do. I enjoyed the fuck out of it towards the end. I really did. And I came out happy. I came out very happy with what they did. And I look forward to seeing what they do over the next 10 plus years, maybe more. Watch this movie. Please don't try and get spoiled, because I nearly got spoiled in the queue to seeing this movie. I nearly got spoiled because some fucking idiots decided to over talk about certain aspects of the movie because they just came out of it. And thankfully, the movie was that good that I forgot what they were talking about, and I was into it, even with the problems. So, yeah, enjoy it. and come back and watch our spoiler version. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
We're about to do spoilers, just to let you know. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to get out because really don't want you to be spoiled. Really don't want you to be spoiled. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Iron Man dies.
Come on, you can't just come out and say it straight away, though.
I warned him, man. I don't bullshit. When I say that spoilers, I'm going to get into spoilers.
And let's work backwards. Is that what you want to do?
No, now we can start from the beginning again. Captain America, man. What? Like, I was never a Captain America fan before this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe started. The first movie was decent. Second movie, that's where I became a fan of him. Third movie he was calling out as well. When he came to this movie, my God, did they fucking nail it. When like Thanos was on top of Thor, he was digging in the axe onto his chest, and you saw the hammer coming. You were like, "Oh shit! How's that even possible?" Then Captain America goes into Captain America's hand. Dude, I had a legit nerdgasm there. I just exploded with happiness everywhere to my poor wife's demise. Yeah, when that happened, that was when I realised what movie magic is. I was in it from then on. They've fulfilled a little callback from Avengers 2. Remember in Avengers 2 when they're having the party and they're all sitting around?
Yeah,
they're trying to lift up the hammer and Captain America gets towards the hammer and like makes it shift a little bit. Sometimes you think like, oh yeah, what if they did do that? But actually to see it in the tone and in the environment that he was in and at the moment that it was in, it caught everybody off guard. And his ending with him living his life, beautiful, poetic ending. Like that's what I liked about how they used the endings for both Tony Stark and the Captain America. There were always two camps. I was always the Captain America's side. I really connected with him. They're both driven to doing what needs to be done by their own ways, and
they think they're doing the right thing.
They think they're doing the right thing. Yeah, exactly. They're strong personalities, and they might butt heads, but they think they're doing the right thing, and that's the way the world is. But they still somehow work together and take each other's advice. Learn something from that, guys. Tony Stark died. Captain America, Steve Rogers, always said to him, like, "You'll never put your life on the line. You don't care about anyone." But no, he put his life on the line. He did it. Tony Stark's always said to him, "Live your damn life, man. Why you gotta be so uptight all the time?" He lived his life. He was happy. And with his final dance with Peggy,
yeah, that was nice.
Nice. And him passing the shield to Falcon. Interesting. I'm interested to see what they do with that now. Then we get to Thor, which I really liked how they used Thor in the first act with him being really depressed and like the way he was playing it felt real. This is what I mean about this first act, second act, third act. The third act felt real. It felt like these are our characters living in a world where this shit happened. And they're feeling it, and they're trying to move on. Some people are trying to move on, like Steve Rogers is conducting a support group. And then you got Black Widow, who's still working. She's still a soldier at heart, man. She's still sending the guys off to missions from other characters like Captain Marvel. She's doing her stuff out of space. You got War Machine trying to help out where he can. And then you got Tony Stark, who started a whole family, and he's moved on. He's happy, man. He's got his family that he wanted. Then you got Thor, who's still depressed, but got like a comically large body, which doesn't look real. If he was fat and he was just fat, it would work. But it's got like a is it like a rubber suit?
Kind of like
it wasn't the same Thor that we even seen in Ragnarok. It felt like a cartoon. It's like what is this cartoon character doing in this movie? Even Hulk fitted into this world. Have you saw what Hulk looked like? Hulk is a smart Hulk. He's both Bruce Banner and the Hulk put together, and he fits into this realistic world compared to Thor. I didn't quite get what they're doing, even though that scene when you first see him with his mates and they're playing the games, that works as a scene. But again, after that, it was
they leaned too heavy into.
They did.
Like overweight and out of shape, which kind of took away from the character development from Infinity War. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is his first failure as being Thor. He's never lost. He lost this time, and they use it as a joke. Where he ends up, like now he's joining the Guardians of the Galaxy, that makes sense. Of course he should go join the Guardians of the Galaxy. They worked out that Chris Hemsworth can be very funny, so let's lean into it again. Like, let's lean into his comedic side. He's meeting up with his mum who's about to die, and I'm trying to connect with him. When they leaned into him being a badass and being fat as well, but it added to his. It added like, yeah, he is still Thor. He is still the warrior.
Lord of the Rings,
yeah,
like that,
it had that kind of fantasy feel to it, which was cool. It was cool to see Thor that way, and tonally it worked. But I just wish they didn't feel like they needed to make him too comedic. Anyway, okay, that was Thor, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Which I think Hawkeye was used amazingly in this movie. I really like Hawkeye in this movie. Other than Iron Man and Captain America, I think Hawkeye was used the best. Character-wise, story-wise.
That opening scene with him and his family.
Oh my god, man, that got me. The way his story after the whole snap and how he's dealing with it felt so realistic. It felt like this is what would happen if an assassin lost his family and he's punishing the gangsters who survived the snap. Oh my god, perfect. Great! That was great use of that character.
Yeah. I almost wanted to see more of that when I saw that scene.
When Tokyo. Oh, you know what? For a second, I don't know if anybody else thought this. For a second, the guy he was fighting in Tokyo, that actor was in Logan. You know the Wolverine. The second one. Yeah, the second one. So I was like, oh my god, are they crossover? Are they doing a crossover? Hawkeye story, even with like his relationship again with Black Widow, really cool. I really like their relationship over the movies. I know they could have done a whole like be romantic. No, they're just really cool friends, and it worked. It worked, especially with Black Widow. I really liked how she was. I think they stayed true to her character in the first scene where she's leading. She's still on mission. She's still working. Physically, she can't be asked to get out of the office anymore. she has given away. But with her death scene, what did you think of her death scene? Because I was in two minds about it. Because I liked what they were doing. I really liked what was going on the screen. But because I wasn't able to go into that scene with the narrative taking me there smoothly. But that was it. It was cool. I don't want to feel cool. Like, it was cool. It was really cool seeing with them trying to fight for the right to die. That was cool. That was great. Yeah. Really great. And it was executed really well. But I just wasn't emotionally invested because the story structure didn't allow me to really understand the tone and the understanding of what could happen or prepare me for what would happen. Because after that, it goes to the next scene and we're somewhere completely different. So that's the problem with this movie. We're going from different tones, different areas. You're constantly resetting your brain. Like, okay, we're here again trying to get this stone. Oh yeah, we're here trying to get this stone. It's like, it just didn't work, really. But Black Widow dying, I'm in two minds about it. Because I would have preferred in the final scene.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her.
I think she would have been playing the final scene. I would have.
But then someone's got to, right?
Someone's got to die. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I don't think Hawkeye and Black Widow should have been in that scene personally. Ant-Man. Look at Ant-Man. He was there. He was good, but he wasn't. He was like the butt of all jokes in this movie. It was like, with Ant-Man, the way he used him is like, okay, his other movies are more important than the character himself. I did like the way when he came back into the world, he went to his home to find out what was going on, and he found his daughter there who was growing up. Because I really do like that Ant-Man, especially the first one. I thought the first one is actually a really great movie. I like the fact that it was all interlinked with the whole time travel stuff was interlinked with the quantum realm, and it's nice. That's what I will say. They did do very well in.
They set that up quite nicely.
Nicely, a lot of things in this movie that did get paid off. Yeah, Ant-Man was cool. Paul Rudd, well done. Nebula has been a character that I've grown to love. So I really like how they used her, how she really has had a full circle redemption story, and she's one of those few characters that you would have thought at the beginning would become a staple name in the Marvel cinema. Really important. It's really important. Yeah, it's really cool, and like she becomes the one who saves Gamora from like we became sisters. Like, that story with her and Gamora really paid off well. So I commend them on that. Well done. Really happily done. Gamora though.
I mean, that was the only way they were going to bring her back, right? So.
But nitpicking, but why bring her back? I always had this problem with Marvel. They never really to really undercut, like really sticking to decisions that they've made.
Yeah.
Even at the end of this movie, searching for Gamora with like Star-Lord and the ship was like searching for Gamora straight away. It's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna be. That's the next movie's gonna be about them searching for Gamora again. Yeah. So that's not over. But and then Loki's getting his own show. So I was hoping that would be in the past, but apparently not. It's gonna be this Loki. Like, hey,
timelines, isn't it? It's alternate realities, bro.
That'd be cool if it's alternate realities. There'd be alternate realities.
Yeah.
But Hulk, I love the choice. I thought it was nice. With the manifesting of both minds, the brawn and the brains, really well done. It was, and the way you handled it with when he was in the cafe and he was just dealing with the kids, it was cool. One thing that did pay off was Hulk versus Thanos. We wanted to see that fight again. Where was that? Like just one moment.
Even if he lost,
there's one moment of Hulk going head to head with Thanos again,
facing his fear. You know, the whole point of kind of overcoming what he went through.
I was waiting I wanted to see this Hulk in battle, like really going for it. It would have been nice to see this smart Hulk just losing it and just getting really angry. It's like,
especially with Black Widow dying.
Yeah.
Else
my don't. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a really good point. Oh, no,
it's
really have to bring that up.
It's just it's like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was a bit disappointing. But he's going to be in more movies, so.
And he did do the
snaps.
He did. He brought everyone back.
Because it's filled with gamma.
Of course it is.
Yeah, okay, Hulk. Iron Man. What a death scene. I'm going to come and say it. What a death scene, man. That was executed perfectly. Iron Man in this movie, it really touched me the way when he was dying, that whole use of when he died and he was just sitting there. And after the aftermath of snapping his fingers, he was just sitting there silently. It's like he didn't know whether he was dead already or was it. He was just lifeless. He was just still. And he got Peter Parker hugging him and saying we did it and all that. Then even like the way Pepper Potts reacts to him was like, you can rest now. Like it wasn't like not over dramatic. It was done really tastefully.
Not dying soliloquy.
Yeah, no, it was done really tastefully, and it got me. It did get me. I was like, damn, like him just being silent and not one word from him.
No jokes.
Again, it's funny how when you just lean into something and just stick with it, it works, and it did. It really landed, and it was a perfect ending to that character. There's no other way when you think about it they could do anything better than that.
Very poetic. It started with Iron Man, kind of ended with Iron Man.
There's a lot of very poetic kind of stuff that they do well in this movie. For him to really make a decision, you felt it more because you know this guy. You know, like, no, I'm all about my family now. I've saved my family. I can die happily. I've saved the world. I've done what I needed to do. I fulfilled my mission as a hero. And damn, yeah, he was a hero in the end. Good on him, man. So R.I.P. Tony. Things will never be the same. That fucking battle, man.
Yeah, that
battle. Oh,
see, I need to watch that again.
My
see it again.
God, I would watch that so bit. It's one of those things where when I rewatch this movie, you're gonna be waiting for that battle. You know, that's how good it was. When Falcon was in Captain America's ear and he said, "On your left." I was like, no, because we just saw Thanos come out with his army. And we're like, oh shit, he's got his army. It's like, oh no, they're not. Then like Black Panther comes out. We see him, like, alright, cool, Black Panther's here. Then Falcon flies out and you see Guardian Galaxy. Yeah. You see everybody. Like throughout the movie, there's people being quite reserved and like, yeah, okay, and then laugh. That happened then. There was the hammer and that bit. It was just exploded. My God. Everybody, every single character that has been in the Marvel Universe movie was there. Fucking Pepper Potts was suited up. You know, we had a wizard army. I wasn't expecting that. It was so cool. You think I've visualized this being on a big screen. As a child, I've visualized reading the comics like, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I can see that happening I can see this happening in the movies. It's really cool. But actually seeing them do it, To actually see it on the big screen and then actually execute it perfectly, beyond perfectly. It was beyond what I could even imagine. To see Valkyrie on Pegasus, come on! It's like, how did she even find Pegasus? I don't care. He's there. Yeah. She's there. It was a fanboy's wet dream 10 times over and some. It was amazing. With even like Captain Marvel coming down, he's like, oh yeah, I forgot! Captain Marvel still needs to come into this. Then when she comes down with the drive through the fucking ship, I was like, this is unbelievable. And then I was a bit worried, like, she was going to take over. But no, she didn't. She'll team up with the other women. Come on. Girl power.
Yes. The girl power moments.
Girl power, yes. But yeah, the girl power moment. It looked cool. Bit heavy-handed, but it looked cool. You said something earlier, which I completely agree. That's when it needed like a little joke, like if that scene happened with the women, oh, we're behind her. Yes, we're behind her. Then Drax comes in, I'm behind her, or something like that. Exactly, that would have been a lovely little thing to make that, to like play with that kind of.
At least a bit of self-awareness.
Self-awareness of what was going on, to be so heavy-handed. That's where that kind of humour would have worked. They've even paid off the whole Spider-Man with instant kill. It's like,
yeah,
that was so cool. I was like, oh yeah, why not use the instant kill? There was so many magical moments that happened in this final act that completely made me forget about anything that was wrong in the early on in the movie. Anything. It was all forgiven in this one final battle. And this is why I have to commend them on what they have achieved. They've done the impossible. And I don't care that we have to restart this whole building of the universe again. It ended wonderfully. And even when you saw, I didn't even talk about Thanos yet. When Thor cut off Thanos' head, amazing. Was not expecting it. Yeah, I love how there was no bullshit. I wish the rest of the movie was in the tone of the first and third act, because those tones were perfect. It hit it perfectly. The story flowed perfectly. What they needed to say was delivered perfectly. Just a shame about the in-between. It was sprinkled with some greatness, like with Tony Stark meeting his father. Wonderful scene. Loved it. And him understanding, he could, again, another shred.
Felt very Back to the Future too, though. You know what I mean?
It did. But they've built the story about him.
It's fan service as well. It's kind of like it's resolution of a character.
Yes, like this is what it's really made for, kind of thing. It had moments like that. There's so much more about this movie. I can't. I need to see it again. I've forgotten about so many things. Those are the kind of stuff I wanted to hit on. Well done, Marvel. Well done, Kevin Feige. Well done, Russo Bros. Double thumbs up. Very much enjoyed it, even with all the nitpicks. Please check out our videos. And we'll see you next time. I've been Tozan, and you've been Johnny.
Where's the mill?
Oh, that guy.
Alright.